Get ready for a story. Once upon a time, there was a John Deere dealer in eastern Washington. But it wasn't Evergreen. Let's talk a little bit about the history of the formation of Evergreen. In 1964, I was a territory manager for John Deere Company. My prime responsibility was to establish a new dealer in Othello. During that process, I met a fellow by the name of Ralph Plank, who was living in Royal City. In the summer of '65, Ralph became the Othello John Deere dealer. In the spring of '66, I resigned from Deere and formed a partnership with Ralph. The company was established as Evergreen Implement. Total employee count was 5, including Ralph and I. In the fall of '68, Ralph decided to sell his portion of the business. The new owners were myself, Garth Libert, and Don Rizzuti. Don Rizzuti came up and he was our, I talked to him about the dealership as we were working around, and when this opportunity came up, I got a hold of Don and said, Don, would you be interested in coming in and taking a look? So he bought a position and became our sales manager. When Evergreen was incorporated, there were 24 John Deere dealers in eastern Washington. Some of them I'd forgotten, like Draney Brothers in Warden, Wentz in Odessa, Harrington Tractor with Bill Floyd. I mean, you can see that there were a lot of John Deere dealers there. Today, Evergreen Implement is the only John Deere dealer in eastern Washington that's operated continually for 50 years under the same name and ownership. Now a little history. This is an article in the Columbia Basin Herald. Othello John Deere dealer moves to a new facility. Evergreen Implement celebrating the completion of its new building located in the United Industrial Park south of Othello. Ralph Plank, Roger Tiemann were invited their customers January 6, 1966. That was the first building that, in fact, you're now sitting in the parking lot. Business grew and required more warehouse space. So that warehouse in the back was added in '68. More expansion in '70, that was bringing those, we had an open space between the warehouse and the main facility, so we closed that off. That's now shipping and receiving and service manager office. And we had some great John Deere days. That was a parking lot full of John Deere customers on a John Deere day in 1972. Then in 1975, plans were made for a major expansion and remodel. That was the architect's rendering. A little story about those arches. I'd gone down to Portland and looked at the building, and I really liked the design of it. And so I told the architect, you know, I don't, those columns are a little too high. That's more like a federal building or something. I want something with more of a human arch. And so, you know, we've got to drop that a little. And at any rate, we started construction in 1975. Now, the way they make those arches, of course, is you build that arch out of plywood. And you have what's called the spring line. That's where your arch starts. Construction in process. And it was completed the spring of '76. Had a nice open house. Bankers all standing around there, licking their chops, wondering, when's this kid gonna go broke? Maybe we can pick this up for a bank. It was a great open house. We had a tractor in. We have a sliding storefront behind there, so that you can bring a tractor in. Pretty good sized tractor. But what was left was a big showroom, but nothing in it. So let's put in a combine. If you can see that those are car tires, so we dropped it down just as low as we possibly could. Al, you remember that? Just barely got it in. And then we had it right in here, and we got it jacked up and put the wheels on it and everything, and then people, how did you get that in here? Well, we've just got a sliding roof. We just slide the roof, and we pulled that off for quite a while, didn't we? I think Al came up with that one. But the improvements continue. In '85, we put in a heated wash bay fabrication assembly. And then in 2013, the expanded large machine, PDI, and repair shop. And then there was that outside secured storage. That was completed in 2012. That has really been a very, very good investment. What do you think of that? We purchased Sewell Implement down in Connell in 1970. Built a service center. And when the tough times hit in the 80s, we decided that we would close that and concentrate everything here. And we'd operated there, well, about 10 years. And that was built on county land. So the county wanted that facility as a service shop. Then we expanded to a new facility in Moses Lake in '98. Been a very, very successful. Good people, good customers. Purchased Coulee City in '05. Put a new combine shop and heated wash bay. And that's the way it looks today. Purchased Ritzville in '05. Major remodel followed. That building dressed up pretty good. And then at a location for Potato Central in 2011. We also developed mission statements. Evergreen's mission statement is to supply quality services to each customer in the manner that assures their total satisfaction, and to be a dependable friend to the communities we serve. And that was developed by our own employees. I don't know if some of you were here when we were doing that, just going through words and then organizing them in a way. I think it's been a mission statement that has served us very well.